There is a certain sadness inside my heart. It is incomprehensible. I cannot gauge into it, but it always tries to say something to me. What is it that I am not able to understand? Why is it that I feel unhappy at times? What is it that I want to know about myself and about the things that I see around? Is it because of the circumstances? Or is it because of other things that I am not able to notice with these naked eyes? Do I need to take a pause? Do I need to understand the humdrum of my daily life? What is it that I am not able to get hold of? What is it that I need to comprehend? I'll take a pause, I'll keep quiet, and maybe then I will be able to understand what's wrong. Namaskar, dear students. This is Shobha Aruna Chudani, your facilitator for the day. We're going to start Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda in today's lecture. By the introduction that I gave you, you definitely would have been able to gauge the understanding that we're going to procure out of reading this particular poem. It's very, very important to keep quiet at times. Why? Not to save on to your energy, that's definitely there, but there are other things also that we definitely do not pay attention to. And they are the most significant things, the paving stones of our life. Let's learn about the poet first. On your left you can see Pablo Neruda, who is a Nobel Prize winner, and he was born as Neftali Ricardo Reis Basualdo, who always wrote with green ink. According to him, it was the color of hope. Colombian novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez once called him the greatest poet of the 20th century of any language. He had to be called one because what he has written in this particular poem has definitely stood the test of time. Now he appeals to readers to take some time out of their busy lives for introspection and retrospection. These words are very interesting and they are going to replicate themselves, they are going to reverberate throughout the poem. What is introspection? And why is the poet appealing to the readers to introspect? Introspect is to take a peep inside your soul. It is to look within and to understand what is it that's going wrong. There is nobody who can answer whatever you are feeling. There is nobody who can, possibly let you know where and what is going wrong with you. It's only you who has to answer that. And where will you get the answer from? You will get the answer from within. So when you will introspect, you will be able to see where you are going wrong. Your conscience will definitely erect itself and it will let you know this is how you need to lead your life in order to be able to feel better about yourself. Retrospection, once we've had a particular phase in our life, we've passed through that stage of our life, what is it that we're left with? We're either left with happiness or we are left with regret. Suppose I've not had a very good phase of my life. There is it had been a very patchy one. And later on there are feelings of remorse in my heart, guilt in my heart. I don't know what to do about them. I would like to go back to the past. I will take a retreat into the past and I would like to know what is it that I did wrong? Where did not manage to understand my own emotions? Was I right at that point of time or was I wrong at that point of time? This happens when we are introspecting and we are taking a look into the past. Now the aim is to return to our routines with renewed vigor and awareness of ourselves and our actions. I'm eating all the time, and sometimes I don't even realize what I've eaten. Oh, what was there on my plate? I did not realize it. What was it? Mindlessness. But if I'm going to take a gross in my mouth, I'm going to eat it mindfully, I'm going to savor it, I'm going to realize that whatever efforts I'm putting in throughout the day, be it my work, be it at my home front, whatever I'm doing, if I'm not able to enjoy the meal that I have in my hand, if I'm not able to pay attention to what I have in my hand, if I'm not being mindful of what I'm doing, what is the point of living such a hush life? I don't want to live like that, and so should you. Look at this beautiful picture. What do you understand from it? Think about it. Can you see a torn face? A face which is trying to look at itself? You may have different interpretations to this beautiful picture. You may have different connotations to this beautiful picture. There is one thing that is unmissable, and that is a torn identity. A person trying to see itself, a person trying to maybe understand where is it that his childhood, that different phases of his life, and him as a person gone. Where has he gone? Has he left himself somewhere in the path of acquiring too much from this materialistic world? What is it that has happened? Try to interpret this image while you read the poem, and then towards the end let me know about your opinion. This is the exquisite poem that I've ever read, and it says, "Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still." What does it mean? We will count to 12. The poet is saying that we're going to count till 12. So counting till 12 is like indications of time in a clock. There are 12 indications of time in a clock. Now 12 could also be connotative of the months in a year or the different seasons that we have. It could be 12 zodiac signs. It could be anything. Any interpretation that you would like to give it. But why is he counting up to 12? It is particularly to concentrate the energy of the readers, of the viewers, of the audience, of everyone who is living around to what he is going to say. Until that time when everyone will be able to concentrate their faculties on what he is going to say, he will achieve his purpose. It's very important to concentrate and focus your energies, and this is what he's trying to do through these lines. He is aligned with everyone, so please understand the use of we over here. He is the one who is letting everyone know that it's important to be together at this point of time and understand what I'm going to tell you. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. He says, for once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. What do you see around? Just go outside and look outside the window. You'll see n number of people talking to each other, haranguing about anything and everything in their lives. You go to a classroom, you see students talking to each other. They are talking in different languages, they're talking about different stuffs, and each one of them is talking about something or the other. What is it that you're able to make out? It's a bedlam of different noises. Nothing. Now imagine the same thing going on in the world at large. Is there anything that you will be able to understand? No. There is only rush, chaos, noise, and continuous humdrum. Let's just stop it for 1 second. The poet urges us to stop it for 1 second and keep our mouths shut for some time. Let's not move our arms too much. We are doing this, busy doing this, we are writing, we are typing, we are listening, we are doing so many things. Take a pause. Just for some time, take a pause. And when you're going to do that, it would be an exotic moment. Rare, uncommon. It will be an exotic moment without rush, without entrance. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Now, whenever I read this line, I'm reminded of the point of time in the past year when our respected Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, had asked us to bang anything that we have in our hand. It could be a, it could be a bell, it could be a utensil, it could be a spoon, it could be a speaker, it could be anything. Just bang it at a certain point and there will be a reverberation of a sound, and then it's going to send out certain messages or certain echoes to the universe. What was it? Did you see everyone in your locality, in your neighborhood coming out and doing the same thing? Did you know each one of them? But you could feel the sense. You could feel the sense of unity with them. You could feel a sense of brotherhood. It was an exotic moment. Something which is very rare and uncommon. Something which is very unprecedented. You would not have experienced it before. Because at that point of time you felt that it was not just you who was going through it. It's everyone out there who is feeling the same sort of pain, same gnawing fear, same anxiety within them, and they all want to sail through. So when we are going to pause, when we are going to be quiet, it is at that point of time that we are going to experience that exotic moment. And it is at that point of time when fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Just imagine the fluttering whales. Just imagine fishes popped out of water and how they flutter for life. I mean, it's a horrendous sight. Can you imagine them literally being pulled out of the water body and they're fluttering and they're convulsing for life? They die such a pitiable death. Those mute creatures can't even speak for themselves. But then the fisherman doesn't realize it because he's doing it for sustenance of livelihood. He's doing it to earn a living for himself. And he ignores it completely because he thinks that it is the destiny of these mammals. They have to die like this only. This is what the aquatic creatures have to go through. Or he or she will have a number of reasons to give. The man who is gathering salt from the from the seabed, is it going to be easier for him to take it out? He has been hurting his hands for so many years and he has not even paid attention to what has happened to him. Is this what he wanted? Is this what he wanted? Is this what he had been struggling for? Is this what he had been doing this job for? No. But he had forgotten about himself. He had forgotten about what he had been doing to himself in the process of doing such things. Take a pause. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors. There are people who are involved into these reckless killing, nuclear wars, biowarfare. They are waging wars against men and nature without realizing what they are going to reap out of it. If you are waging a war against nature and nature and men, what is it that you're going to be left with? Even though you survive it, or even though you win over it, or even though you're able to establish a victory over those circumstances, and you call yourself the king of the world, or you are able to reign over the world through your supremacy, but what is it that you're going to get at the end of it? When there will be nobody to celebrate your victory, do you think you've earned anything at all? Think. These people, particularly, these people need to put on clean clothes. That means they need to shun their private and professional selves for some time. They need to walk with each other, understanding each other, and create a sense of brotherhood. When they are going to walk with each other hand in hand, not literally, but obviously understanding each other's pain and anxieties and being human in the real sense of the term, it is at that point of time that the feeling of keeping quiet will actually emanate through their personalities. So it's extremely, extremely important to take a pause, to be quiet and understand where you are going wrong. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Now the poet is not asking you to take a break, to sit back at home and become a couch potato. He's not asking you to quit your jobs. He's only asking you to think, to take a short break from what you're doing. Only to give time to yourself. The life is like a garden. You must not walk single-handedly or, point blank to your destination. You should also savor the things and enjoy the beautiful things that you see around. Don't be so single-minded about everything that you are doing. Try and understand there are other things which are equally important. You may have amassed a lot of wealth, you may have amassed a lot of property, but at the end of the day, if you don't have anyone to cherish your dreams, if you don't have your loved ones around, if you don't have you yourself, your health intact, what is the point of keeping all these things and flaunting them later on? Completely insignificant. Think. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, for once could do nothing, Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. He clearly wants you to understand one thing, that if you're going to continue with this blindfolded and mindless and reckless approach of pursuing your dreams, if you're going to continue in this pursuit of your dreams, these selfish dreams, you will end up achieving all your passions, you will end up achieving everything materialistic, but at the end of the day, there will be something that will keep you killing from within. You will not be able to achieve that inner peace. It's not meant, please understand, it's not meant that he does not want you to follow your dreams or your passions. But he wants you to not follow them blindfoldedly. Be mindful of what you require in life and give time to yourself too. Try and understand what is the purpose of your life. Try and understand what is it that is going wrong within you. Don't be so single-minded in your pursuit that you forget about everything else. If we are not going to take a pause, if we are not going to stop, what is it that we are going to experience? It's going to be a sadness which many people these days are going through. That emotional diet needs to be given to ourselves. That spiritual upliftment needs to be given to us. It's not just about physical exhaustion that we need to do in order to achieve whatever we want to. It's good to follow your passions. It's good to achieve your goals. It's good to acquire things. But a mindless and a reckless approach is not what is suggested by the poet. He wants you to be mindful. He wants you to be clear about what you require in life and not forget that you are the supreme person that you need to pay attention to. Be the core of your universe. Do not let the universe be the core of you. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Think about a seed. How does earth teach us about being selfless? How does earth teach us? What is earth doing? It is very, very unselfish and productive. It has been always selflessly giving things to you. It has always been letting you know what it is capable of without being ostentatious or pretentious. Think about a small seed that is sown beneath the soil. What happens to a seed when you sow it beneath the soil, when you plant it beneath the soil? You water it, you put it in the sunlight, and then it starts to show magic. What is the magic that you get to see? It starts spreading its tentacles. It roots out from within. It does not have to show you that it's doing something. And then later on, you see a stem popping out. That's the beauty of life. So, a seed seems to be dead from the outset, but it proves to be alive later on. Earth is selflessly doing a lot of things for us. It has always been in that, giving mode, but it has never shown or given you an ostentatious display of what it is doing for us. So can we not be like that? Can we not be like Mother Earth? Can we also not live a life like that? Why do we have to pretend? Why do we have to let everyone know? Why do we have to create a pump and show of everything that we do? We can also behave like that. We can also bring a small change in our mechanistic lives to make them feel more wholesome. Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. Look at the last two lines and now understand the first two lines. He began by saying that we will count to 12. Now he says, I will count up to 12. And you keep quiet and I will go. That means the poet's job is to enlighten the minds. He was the torch bearer for each one of us at the beginning of the poem. And now what do we see? That he has done his bit. He has already lit up your mind. He has already enlightened the ignorant minds and he has already let them know where they were going wrong. And now his job is done. Now he's going to become the torchbearer for the other section of society. And he will go from here. Right? Let's take a look at the next slide. What is the theme and value that we generate from this poem? The theme is, in this deceptively simple poem, the poet has emphasized the need to introspect and bring in the spirit of brotherhood among the people of the world. This is what he wants to do. What are the values that we understand? What are the values that we can learn from this poem? Introspection, retrospection, universal brotherhood, sensitivity to the environment, peace, empathy, unity, and the like. Now, I'm sure that the explanation of the poem is justifiably done for you people. Let's look at the key points that you can take a look at while you are preparing yourself for the exam. The poet talks about the need of silence and quiet introspection and the importance of quietude and calmness. What is it that you're going to get at the end of it? Will you be able to feel good about yourselves? Will you be able to know yourself any better? Or is it just going to be a meditative practice? He also talks about creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. The poet asks us to keep still and count up to 12. He also asks us to keep still. For a moment, we should not speak any language, we should not move our arms so much, because it's going to be a moment of complete silence without rush or worry, an exotic moment. And in that moment, we will realize the futility of our mindless words and actions. A sudden strangeness will prevail, and that will be a blissful moment. The fishermen, the man gathering salt from the seabed, the people who are causing, mass destruction to life and nature, they will also stop at once. And they will also be people who have always been preparing themselves for war, leaving no survivors behind them. They will wear clean clothes and understand the bond that they have been missing out on. What is it that they need to understand? The message of peace and brotherhood. And at the same time, the poet is also cautioning us not to confuse stillness with total inactivity. That I've already emphasized on. Life is an ongoing process and it should not be associated with death. It is to be lived with a positive attitude. He does not want us to ponder over death. He does not want us to feel that, okay, I'm going to die one day and so I should be mindlessly pursuing my dreams. I should be able to mint a lot of money and I should be able to achieve all my dreams. What is it that you're going to do after that? Think about that. So enjoy your journey. Be mindful of what you're going through. He feels that if for once we do not focus ourselves single-mindedly to keep our lives moving, but do some introspection and spend some time in silence doing nothing, we can understand ourselves better and escape from the threatening calls of death, the suicidal thoughts. The earth, as a metaphor, can teach us a lesson on how to continue growing underneath while appearing to be still on the surface, as explicated by the example of a seed. In the same manner, a quiet introspection can bring all evil thoughts to an end and bring in a new life of peace and tranquility. Now the poet will count till 12 and they should keep quiet and he will go. Let's take a look at some of the sample questions. These are the reference to context questions that you usually get in your exams. Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. The questions that you can get and the sample answers are here. What is the fisherman symbolic of? What will happen when fishermen do not harm whales? What has happened to the man gathering salt? What must he do? What would happen in this moment of silence? And what image does the poet create in the last line? Another set of important artists that I could lay my hands on were these. You can just pause the video and take a screenshot and you can keep them in the stack of notes that you have. These are extremely important because these questions have come repeatedly in the previous year board examinations. Now there are also a set of short answer type questions with sample answers for your kind perusal. So you can go through them. What is the sadness referred to in the poem? What is the significance of 12 in the context of this poem? And these are the rest of the questions that you can take a look at. Don't forget to take a picture if you're following my video for the first time. However, you can go back and forth to understand or to take down these questions or take a picture of them. That's it. Thank you, students. This was the end of my video. I feel I have done justice to the explanation of the poem, and if you really liked my attempt, hit the like button and don't forget to share and subscribe this video. Bye bye.